Hi, everybody. I'm Alexis.
And I'm Amanda. And this is the first episode of A Court of Books and Babble. So a little bit about us and how this podcast came to be is we met at work. Instantly clicked. I dumped a lot of trauma on her day one, and
I dumped a lot of trauma too. We were trauma bonded,
and it's just been like that ever since. We found out that we both have an immense love of books and reading, and she honestly actually got me back into reading because I wasn't reading as much as I am now. Yes, girl. And so here we are. She got me into book stuff. We started a book club together in our third year.
Yep. No shelf control.
Yes. And now here we are with our podcast. Okay, so now we're going to do a little segment that we're going to call Current Reads, and we're just going to discuss what we're currently reading. You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So my current read, one of the first ones, is actually an e-arc that I received from Poison Pen Press. It's called Buried in the Woods Below by Daniel Miller, and it comes out September 1st, 2026. I don't actually know anything about what it's about. I just know that the first 3 chapters have been crazy because I love going in blind.
You say it's like a psychological thriller?
Yeah. Okay. Yep. It's a thriller, but I love going in blind. I love not knowing what's going to happen.
Especially with a thriller.
Yeah. I don't want any details.
No, nothing at all because that just ruins it because you never know when you're going to get a really, really good twist.
Exactly.
Who doesn't love it?
And I don't already want to be thinking about like solving it or anything. I just want a clear head. Yep. Start it. Give me whatever information you want to give me, and we'll go from there.
Introduce me to the players.
Exactly.
Like, who's in here? What's going on? I'm gonna start forming my own ideas. Like, oh, Paul's kind of fishy. I don't like Paul.
Exactly.
And I'm currently reading Between Gods and Dragons by M.A. Frick, which is the 3rd book in the Dragonheart trilogy. And shame to say, I got it as an arc.
That's okay. It happens.
But I got a little sick, and so I didn't finish it in time. But I'm reading it now, and it's really, really good. And I'm actually kind of like really sad, and I'm prolonging it just a little bit because it is the last book.
That's understandable, though.
Yeah.
So that makes it okay that you didn't read it before it was published.
Yeah, but, exactly. Because this series is really, really good. There's age gap, and there's a little like... because I don't want to give spoilers because everyone should read it, but like a little bit of forbidden love, I would say. Forbidden love, throw me in there. But yeah, it's really, really good. I'm enjoying it. And I'm also currently reading Crescent City.
Yep.
I'm only up to chapter 21 in the first one. So I have to read that and the other 2 before October.
And I am supposed to be starting Crescent City. I'm going to finish this arc, and then I'm going to start Crescent City too. Well, the first book, but as well.
You'll definitely catch up. I'll try. You're a faster reader than me. And I have an audiobook I'm currently listening to. I'm still Rights of the Starling. So the second one. It's really good. I'm not going to lie though. Maybe it's just me, and because I'm still kind of a newbie to audiobooks. But I was really confused in the beginning and did not have a clue what was going on.
It's a fantasy series, though, right?
Yeah, so it is. It's definitely fantasy, and it's the second book, and she's kind of like announcing like some new things in the second book. I mean, it's been out for a while, so spoilers, everyone. So, the first book, like there was some kind of like a monster or whatever, I guess you could say, the Crux, and they do like what is it? What is the word I'm looking for? What do geese do? They don't hibernate. They
migrate.
Migrate. Thank you.
I don't know what geese do.
So it was a migration, and like the Crux migrate, and then they're like kill people and stuff, so they have to go. But then I think in the beginning of the second book, the Crux are people that transform into these things, and it's like a special right or something. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was really, really confused in the beginning of the second book, but I think I understand it, and I think I'm catching what they're throwing.
Okay.
So we'll see. Jury's still out, but by the time I finish that book, the 3rd one will probably be already out.
But that's okay.
I mean, here we are.
And then you'll just do a re-listen.
Yeah, which I already have to re-listen to A Night in the Moth before that one, because I don't remember.
That's okay.
I read for the vibes. I'm here for the vibes. I know the vibes are really good.
So, in this next segment, we're going to talk about some bookish news.
All right, what do we have for us today? We have these beautiful books I see you brought out for us.
Just for some props.
Okay.
But the reason for the props is because apparently Haunting Adeline is going to be a movie. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
So excited, man. Like, I'm just so curious to see how they're going to do it. Like, I know everything within these books, and if you've read them, everything within these books has to be obviously done very tastefully and
that's
very,
what she said.
Yes.
I
have full faith in her to do that. For sure.
I was watching her TikTok live when she announced it. She said it's going to be very tasteful. The thing that I'm most happy about is how involved she's going to be.
Yes.
So I know that it's going to be perfect. I'm just so excited. I think she said she still has to cast Zaid and Sibby. I'm so excited to see who Sibby's
yes, Sibby's gonna be good. And I like that they're taking their time with that, because you really have to find the perfect person, because so many of us have a picture of Zaid in our heads. We have the picture of Adeline. We have Sibby in our head. We have all the characters.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It kind of makes me think of when Harry Potter came out, and they you're reading the books and you have Hogwarts in your head and all the characters, but then the movies came out and you saw Hogwarts. I'm not gonna lie, that literally was how I pictured it. Like I think it's so important when the authors are involved in the making of the movies and the shows, because it really just brings it to life perfectly.
That's how I was with the Hunger Games movies. I feel like every single Hunger Games book, when I was reading them, it was perfect adaptations, and that's also why I'm so excited for Sunrise on the Reaping, but that's for another day.
Yes, that's another podcast episode. Well, let's show these beauties off.
These are the anniversary editions that I got. They are gorgeous. The sprayed edge, when you put them together, you can actually see Adeline's house.
Love that.
Yes, these are my most prized possession, but I felt like this was when we had to break them out.
That is just such a beautiful book. I like black pages.
Me too. I think these are the only books that I have with these type of pages.
Gorgeous.
But I love it.
Oh, and then Adeline. I love
my girl Adeline.
Yes. These are gorgeous, beautiful. Love these.
I think I'm gonna have to lock them up from Amanda.
Yeah, you just might have to. You might have to. All right, and another bookish news that we have, which I think is really, really awesome, and this is actually really funny, is you got me into the Haunting and Hunting Adelines. You told me to read them, and you told me to read these books, and these are your favorite series.
My favorite mafia romance, dark romance series is the Bratva series by TJ Maguire.
Yes. And so we want to give our flowers to TJ because we love her and we love her books. And Bratva Bride got translated into French, and it is a gorgeous copy. I wish I had one. I might get one just to have it. It is beautiful. The coloring and the cover, absolutely gorgeous.
All of the editions of her books.
Maybe we can find a picture and maybe we can insert it or tag it or something. It's beautiful. Look it up if you don't know what we're talking about. But that was translated into French, and it was #1 for a month.
Hell yeah, girl.
Yes. So props to that.
Because she's also now a published author.
Yes.
When I discovered her and read the Bratva series, it was indie published, but now she got picked up by a publisher.
Yes. So I hurried up and I snagged those indie covers really quick. So I have those before she gets traditionally published, for sure. And then one last little bit of tidbit news that we have for those George R.R. Martin fans out there like myself. And I am getting Alexis into the Game of Thrones series as well. We have an update on Winds of Winter. The update is there is no update. Yay! He still hasn't finished it. And there's still no announcement of when it's coming out.
Surprise!
Shut it! It's not happening. So yeah. That is, I would say, it in bookish news so far.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we'll write our own. Maybe we'll write our own Game of Thrones book for our own ending.
It's some fanfic, you know?
Yeah,
exactly. A little something. Susie's definitely going to get hers. Just saying. For our next segment, we are going to highlight a bookish small business. And today's bookish small business is one that I found on Booksta. I became friends with her within some of the first day or two of being on Booksta, and she is Vanessa, and she owns Crafted by Dwyer, and she has an Etsy shop, which we will have tagged in our comments below, and she makes the coolest bookmarks ever. Here's one of my personal favorites, Slow Burn Survivor, because I am a fiend for some slow burn.
This one is Buy Me Books and Tell Me I'm Pretty. because obviously that's what every girl wants.
Naturally.
What else could you ask for?
Naturally. And then these ones are some nice themed. We have ACOTAR. Carry a little magic with every chapter. To the stars who listen and the dreams that are answered. And then we have Fourth Wing.
And then a couple other bookmarks that we have here in our hands. We have a cute Hot Girls Read.
We just lost our light, but that's fine. It's fine. You can still see us in the bookmarks.
Oh yeah. And then the other one is probably one of my favorite ones, the Book Lovers Club.
I love this one too.
And it's a lifetime membership.
I like that one. So crafty.
Love all of these. These are all super cute.
They're really great quality, all laminated, nice, thick, beautiful designs, rounded corners. She does do tassels as well if you want a tassel. I'm just not much of a tassel person, so none of my bookmarks really have tassels. Some of them, though.
It's hard to be a tassel person with cats, though.
Yes.
Because the cats will just rip your bookmark right out.
100%.
So take that with a grain of salt.
Yes. But you can find her on Etsy, very well priced, very fast shipping as well. And she's just the sweetest ever. So shout out to Vanessa, Crafted by Dwyer, for all your bookmark needs. She has holidays, book themes, everything. All right, guys. So our next wonderful segment we have for you is something that we hope we can do very often, and that is an author spotlight. And today we have the amazing Anna Hellstrom with us, who is the author of Heathens Creek, Haunted Love, Heathens Creek, Vampire Prison, and then coming out tomorrow, or what will be today when this is posted, the new Enchanted by the Moon, which is a gargoyle monster romance.
Yay!
So everyone, I would like you to welcome the wonderful Anna. Welcome.
Hello.
So, if you would like, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and how you started and on your writing journey and how you came up with these lovely books.
Yeah. So my name is Anna Hellstrom. I am a Gothic paranormal fantasy romance writer. So far, as you guys said, I have 2 books from my series out, Heathens Creek. It's a vampire romance. And then the 3rd standalone book comes out tomorrow, Enchanted by the Moon. It's also a monster romance. It takes place in the same realm as Heathens Creek, but it's its own story. So how did I get started on this journey? So funny enough, it's actually from GM Fairy. If you guys are a fan of her.
I've heard.
Yeah, so prior to that, I've always been into writing since I was a child. It's always been a hobby of mine. And a couple years ago, I started reading GM Fairy's books, and we became friends online, and we were chatting, and she was the one that was kind of like, oh, like, you know, it's possible for anyone to write a book. Like, you could do this. And so I was thinking about like my own skill set, and I was like, you know what, like, if she can do it and she has great success, and her books really aren't that big, you know, they're like quick monster stories and fairy tales, I was like, why don't I give this a go too? And so I hadn't like written as a hobby for a while. So I started thinking like, well, what am I going to write about? And at the same time, I don't know if you guys know the band Typo Negative from the 90s.
Yeah,
so
I do not.
I'm a huge Typo girl. And a couple years ago, I was listening to so much Typo Negative, and I was in all of like the Facebook communities for it and all the Instagram communities. And I just realized, I was like, you know, there's so many women that could dream about Peter Steele and want to read about Peter Steele. So I was like, I'm going to create a story that's a little ridiculous, and it's going to be literally Peter as a vampire, but I'm going to rename him. And so that was like the first start of it all. And then at the same time, I was thinking about like, well, what kind of stories do I like? And I really, you know, I like the classics. I like Dracula. I really liked the book Carmilla.
Okay.
I like I mean, have you read that book before?
I haven't read it, but I've heard of it.
Okay, yeah, so it's like pre-Dracula.
Okay.
It's what I liked about the book is it's not that long. It's kind of like my stories. It's like 150 pages.
Yes.
Gets to the point. Very gothy. Lots of vampires. And so I kind of took different aspects of things that I like and just created a little realm for myself. And I've just been going off of that since. And so here I am. It's been, I started, like, my first book was published literally last August. So it's been less than a year, and now I have 3 books out, and I'm just like cranking them out.
Yeah, that's crazy because you've built like this huge world already. Like, even from the beginning of the first book, like, I feel like you can just do so much within Heathens Creek, the way you set it up. And I love that so much because it's like, even when the books end, like, there's still so much there. Like, you've just created this amazing world to experience.
And when I was world building, so I got a lot of the world building influence off of the Cambric Creek series by C.M. Niscosta. Am I saying her name right? Do you know?
I am unfamiliar.
I'm unfamiliar.
Morning Glory Milking Farm.
Okay. No,
I do not. Oh my gosh, where have you guys been? So,
I know. Oh my goodness.
There's a monster romance series called, I think it's called the Cambric Creek series, and the first one is called Morning Glory Milking Farm. And so the author, she created like a whole world where it's kind of like monsters and some humans like mingling together, and each book is about a different, like, a human woman with a monster.
Gotcha.
And so I liked her world building because she made it very pretty, and she made it possible for, these different creatures to cohabitate with one another. So when I was creating my world, I was like, I kind of like what she did, where she just made it so beautiful.
Yeah.
But her books aren't like, I wouldn't say they're gothic in any means. They're very smutty, and they're very creative. I'm a huge fan of her work.
Oh, I will definitely check it out.
Yes, I will writing that down.
Yes, definitely.
So that was kind of when I was thinking about how do I want to, create Heathens Creek. I was like, well, I like what she did, but let me make it like creepy and super gothic.
Yes.
So I just ran off of that.
I know I told you probably from day one when I first read Haunted Love, just because I as well am a big Dracula fan. Anything Dracula, Bram Stoker, any movie, any show, any variation of anything to deal with Dracula, give it to me. I'm in it. And reading this book, I know growing up, the Winona Ryder, Gary Oldman, Dracula movie was like my number one. That's a love story to me. That's a beautiful love story movie. And they obviously don't get it on in the movie. So it's just like your books gave me what I was missing out when it came to that. And I loved it.
I'm also going to know, and this is very funny. So when I first began my writing journey, and I was thinking about, well, what am I going to write about? While all of this is going on, talking to GM Fairy, thinking about like Typo Negative, I watched Twilight for the first time. I'm a late Twilight bloomer. I just never was really like.
I am late as well. I was late as well.
I rewatch Twilight once a month at least.
Well, that's where I'm at now. But I finally gave in, and I watched it, and I was like, needs more sex.
Yes.
So that's why in my series, it's kind of like, a girl, she moves back home, small town. It's supposed to have that kind of like silly Twilight aspect, but then add in all these other things.
Yeah, because to me, Dracula is sex. He just exudes it, just like everything that you would want. And he is, to me, monster romance isn't supposed to be like very realistic or anything, but to me, he's probably the most realistic monster that you could get it on with maybe like Frankenstein being next. But it's like, you're not getting it on with a ghost. That's not like, how's that gonna, you can't touch each other and they're like, a sea creature monster is not gonna come out and wanna but that's okay in a monster book. But that's why I think I really truly gravitate more towards the vampire monster romance or things, because it could be it could be real. Maybe Dracula one day will want to come and swoop me off my feet. Who would you say are your literary icons? I know you've mentioned a few that have given you some inspiration for your books.
Yeah. So I would say, of course, Bram Stoker, can't go wrong with the classics.
Mhm.
For newer authors, I'm a huge fan of T. Kingfisher.
Oh, yes.
If you know her, anything she writes, I'll just immediately buy it, and I'll get to it eventually. But
Yep.
I have never been disappointed by her work. I'm also a huge fan of Ruby Dixon.
Okay.
I surprisingly love alien romance.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would write it, but I love reading it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you ever read Ice Planet Barbarians?
No, it's on the list though. It is. I do want to read that one. I've heard good things about it.
Because it's a whole series, right?
There is. She has multiple series in the same world. So the first series has 25 books, and then the second series, also in the same world, has another 20, 25 books. I've read the first 25. They're very easy to read. They usually have 150 to 250 pages. And there's just she's so good at tapping into the male mind.
Okay.
Which I'm just I don't know how she does it. When you read the chapters of, the sexy alien man, it's she really gets in there, and it's you're thinking what the guy is thinking, and it's damn, you are such a great writer. And,
I love that. Yeah.
So I can't praise her work enough. She's fantastic. And then of course, I love the Camber Creek series by C.M. Niscosta.
Yeah, we will definitely be looking into those for sure.
Yeah,
I'm on vacation next week, so bring it on.
Okay, no, I do. I love a good monster romance. They're so much fun. And then also G.M. Ferry. I think her work is so much fun to read.
I think it's so cool how, yes, the books might be short and quick to read, but I love the fact that you have, I'm not missing anything when I'm reading it. I'm not, left wondering.
Okay.
Yes, there's the cliffhangers, but I absolutely love that you can get this whole huge world with all these different creatures and all these characters in these little books. And I don't know, it's so bingeable, and I just love it.
Yeah. It's you put all the information that some writers take 600-page books to do, and you put it into into the one book, but it doesn't feel rushed. I don't feel you're just running through things. No, you know,
and I love it.
Yeah, it's it's just perfect. It moves as you read the book. With the second one, I messaged you 2 hours later, okay, I'm done, and you're wait a second, that because it was just the way it was moving and flowing, and you're just reading it, and you don't even know you are. You're just so immersed in the story, and you're just going through it, and next thing you know, I'm at the end, and that cliffhanger, girlfriend, that cliffhanger.
There's lots more. I'm working on the next
well,
but yeah, I was gonna say, I personally like to read shorter books.
Yes,
I feel
same.
If I'm at a bookstore and I see a book that's 400 pages long, to me, I really have to want to read it, because that's a commitment.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
If I see something that's 150 to under 300 pages, I'll gladly pick that up. So I was well, I want to write what I would read.
Yes.
And I wanted it to be kind of poetically and beautifully written, because I have also seen, a lot of books that are on the shorter side. It can feel rushed. It can feel the writing level is, very quickly written. And so I wanted it to, just have a more beautiful aspect, but still not be too long, where someone, if they wanted to, they could read it within a couple hours, or a couple days.
I thought that was good, because I'm the same way. If I have to read too far in, or if the book is really thick, right now I'm trying to read Crescent City, and that's this big, and I'm just oh my God, I'm at chapter 21, and it looks like I've only read this one. I was I don't want to do this anymore, man. It seems, and that's I think I've been reading the 5th Game of Thrones book for 10 years, because that's another honker, and I'll read a couple chapters and come back, and then I'm well, now I don't remember anything, and I got to start over again, but whatever.
But that is the one thing I've countered with, as being an author who writes, more shorter stories, is I feel I have, people like you that are I love these books, but then I do feel there are a lot of readers that are used to reading really long, dense books. So when they read mine, they're what is this? This isn't enough.
Yeah.
And so that's been something I've had to adjust to, but I've come to accept well, this is who I am as a writer. If you don't want to read that, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have, because I'm putting art into the world now, I have to, be adjusted.
Yeah, there's always going to be those people, but
yeah. Like I was telling Amanda a couple months ago, I got my first 1-star review, and it just like completely gutted me for like a couple of days. I was like, I'm terrible, I should quit.
No.
Throw people off as well is I've noticed with a lot of books that are smut books, the covers really match the interior. Whereas my books, you think you're going to read a fantasy novel, and then you open it up and you're like, what the hell? Like right away, it's like he's got his cock out.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't really, but I wanted that. I wanted the books to be overall really pretty. And then you're like, because I'm a big Anne Rice fan.
Yeah.
And she has a retelling of Sleeping Beauty that I'm a big fan of. And the covers are so beautiful, but you open it up and it's just this heavy BDSM novel that you would never think of looking at the cover. So I was like,
right.
That's what you're reading. Well, this, I'll sit right there and open the book up, and they could be like railing each other and nobody knows because the cover is just so pretty, because you can really read smut wherever. I can read smut with a straight face and be in like the middle of a billion people, and then there's some people that they start to get red and embarrassed. I'm like, no. And this book is like the perfect one. I'll read everything in front of everyone. Like, oh, what are you reading? Oh, it's a great book. Let me tell you about it.
Very true.
Yeah. Are there any other genres that you wish to write? Because I know you do a little the monster smut goth. Is there anything else that you're interested in trying?
Actually lately I've been really getting into just like pure fantasy without the smut.
Yeah.
I recently read T. Kingfisher's Nettle and Bone. It was really cute. It was about like a witch going on an adventure, and it was like a quest to save the kingdom. And I really like that. And so that's why I actually don't have any sex at all in this new book, and kept it just more like baseline romantic, because I was kind of like dabbling with that to see how it goes. So we'll see what people think. But
I loved it.
I'm not gonna give up on the smut. Like there's still so much I want to do in that.
Yeah.
But I have thought about like, it would be fun to like write a couple books that aren't necessarily like just sex based.
Yeah.
And to have more like maybe more horror and more adventure.
Yeah. And I think that's a really good good mark of a good writer, is being able to do a bunch of different genres as well. And then that way too, you can really get a wider fan base, because you've got the people that like the monster smut like us, and we can read it and we love it. And then there's like the 1-star review. Okay, you don't like it, but what, you might like this instead. I've got this instead. It gives you different things, like kind of, like an Anne Rice has done that as well. She's got her crazy stories where you're like, okay, oh my goodness, and then ones that are a little bit more mild or things like that. But always stay true to the roots. You are a great smut writer. You really are.
Yes.
It's definitely been a journey. Like I always joke about with people, like, there's only so many words you can use for cock. Because I'm always like asking people like, what's a good word for this? Because you really have to be creative writing smut.
Yeah.
I mean, like when I read it myself, like some of these authors, I'm just like, where are you like getting these, like one word, because there's words that I see other authors use that I don't think I would ever use in my books, because I'm just like, it's so funny. Like one I see a lot of people use is like I entered her mound,
No.
It's so funny to me. Like
it makes me think of the one song, Foxtrot Uniform Charlie Kilo by why can't I think of the band name? Why is that slipping?
Girl, don't ask me.
No, it's too young for her. Sorry, but us millennials know. But it was like. It was literally the whole song is just sexual innuendos. So if you ever run out of ideas, just listen to that song. I'm sure that you can get some.
Like when I've read Anne Rice books, she sticks with the classic words.
Yes.
So I would rather continuously use the word like cock and shaft than be like, I don't know. Yeah,
his probe. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I still want the book to come off like beautifully poetic, and I don't think like having the word meat stick is going
No.
to be.
Yeah.
And honestly, as a reader too, that's cringy. Like I'm reading that and I'm just like, now I'm just totally over it. I'm skipping over the rest of the sex scene with my eyes and I'm waiting till the conversation comes back.
Because you can be totally in it, like to where you're in the zone where it doesn't even feel like you're reading, and then one word can throw you off and you're like, oh, I'm reading a book. No, I hate this.
And then I do think, you know, when I've seen those creative words come up, it fits very well for those authors' stories. Like it flows in. But I just feel like with my specific kind of writing, like it wouldn't work. So I don't want to do that at all. I'd rather just reuse like what it actually is. Than like, you know, start like naming, you know, people's like parts as like vegetables.
What was that? Oh my gosh, what was that book you read where
the one that you gave me, Bagged by the Groceries? That was a good one. Well, that's the thing too, outside of your books having smut and being a monster smutty romance, there's story to it, there's substance to it, you know, there's actual plot and storyline. There's nothing I hate more when you're reading a book. It's like, okay, you can have as many sex scenes and stuff as you want in there, but that's not all I'm here for. I want some kind of story. I want some kind of mystery, some kind of twist, some kind of something. And so your books, I think, are like the perfect mashup of all of that. They give you a great story, great characters, a great world build.
I was finishing up Vampire's Prison, or even while I was in the middle of reading it, like I was using every name in the book. I was so angry. Like I just love a book that can make me like feel those emotions so much. Like I genuinely felt so much hatred towards certain people in the book because I don't want to give anything away.
I don't want to spoil.
I was jumping in my chair, yelling. It was great. It was great.
Good. I'm glad. I mean, that's how I felt writing it. Is I wanted emotions. So I'm glad that transpired.
It definitely did.
For sure. Yeah. Awesome. So you're actually currently she's in The Enchanted by the Moon right now.
Yes, I'm on page 42.
So
I'm loving it so far.
Yes.
Things are starting to happen.
With reading this newer one, like you said, is you wanted to go away from the smut and do a little bit more of the story. And from having read your books from the beginning and seeing your progression as a writer, like I wasn't left wanting anything more. Like I think you did that very successfully. I think, you know, so I really enjoyed it. I wasn't like I was reading it and I was done and I was like, well, I wish she, you know, had him screw or something, you know, or had him do something. And I think it was perfect because the way when we were discussing the book and you described it as a Wuthering Heights, you want more, you want that. And sometimes that's what you want. Life is not always a happy, perfect ending. And so you want something relatable. In this book with how it, without giving spoilers to the world out there, with how it ends, it leaves you satisfied but not satisfied at the same time because you do want that more. You want more, but you're not going to get it. That's it.
And that's what I wanted with this story. When I began to write it, it was funny. The reason I wrote this is like sometimes I'll get like deep like seasonal depression in the winter, and so that's what this book is. Like I was like just deep in like the seasonal depression, and I wanted to write something like super moody. When I was writing this story, originally there was supposed to be a lot of sex, and then halfway through I was like, you know what, I'm going to do a twist that people aren't going to suspect at all and just have no sex at all and then just leave it just like with like a single kiss and people wondering like, well, what happens? And it's supposed to be the book isn't supposed to be happy. It's supposed to be depressing. It's supposed to be like, oh, that's so sad for her. You know, you're supposed to leave with this like this heartache feeling, and because that's how she feels the whole story. And so that's kind of the main theme that I wanted out of this particular book is I wanted it to be sad. I wanted there to be lots of heartache and longing. And then like also in the book I have, so it's this book is about a witch, but then she has like 2 other witch friends that I've listed in the book. And so my plan is to make stories about each witch over time.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I am going to have stories about the 2 other witches. And what I've decided is each witch is going to have a very tragic love story with some kind of entity. So this will be like my sad girl romance mini series, and then I'm going to continue on with Heathens Creek, which will be, you know, lots of blood and gore and sex and whatnot. But I am working on the 3rd book in the Heathens Creek series.
Okay.
It's going to be all about Lucy, because I know in the 2nd book, it's just like she randomly shows up and things get weird. I want that to happen. You're going to find out all about everything up until that point when she...
I'm very excited for that.
When we saw Lucy in the 2nd book, like, it took me a second. I was like, wait a minute, who? And then I was like, oh my God, it's John Wick.
Like, so what I was thinking, and so if you read Ice Planet Barbarians, Ruby Dixon does a similar thing where each book is from the perspective of one female, and you only get, you know, her viewpoint, what's going on, and then there's other things going on in the background, and you kind of wonder what's happening, but you have to read the other books to finally get the full scope. So I wanted that with Heathens Creek, is you find out, you know, something purely from one person's eyes, and then you might have a ton of questions and you're gonna have to find out. But I do have it all methodically planned, so when everyone's like, oh, it feels unfinished, like, why there's so many questions I have, it's like, that's the point.
Because I'm a big fan of movies like Crash or 11 I think it's 11/11 or 11/12 or something, where there are multiple different people and they all converge at one ending. Like, there's one end and you see from all the different angles how we got to this point or how all these things happen. So excited for book 3. I can't wait to see it from Lucy's perspective. I want to know, why were you in the woods, girl? What are you doing in the woods? Like,
there's a whole bunch. I'm going to be writing stories about Lucy. I'm going to be writing stories about Lena.
Okay.
I also will probably write stories about the Demoness twins.
Okay. Yes, because they are interesting.
There's so much, as you said, there's so much that I can do in that world, and so I have quite a few ideas. So lots of things to come.
I love that.
You can even branch off and build other worlds, you know, and build other demon worlds.
Like, if they explored, you just created like this amazing starting point, and like, I know you have it all planned out pretty much, but like, you can just keep continuing and like branching
as the ideas
off,
come,
and it can just never end. And
it's
I love
great
that
universe. Because I even like how in the new book that's coming out, The Enchanted by the Moon, it's within the same world, but there's little nods throughout the book, like little things here and there where they mention it. Or I like how Willow, you know, is a witch, but she's never heard of Heathens Creek in the book. And it's not much of a spoiler, sorry, but she knows, she's never heard of it, but you know, so it's like all these different points where it's just like all these different nods to it, or it's kind of running parallel at the same time period as the other Heathen Creeks books, because they discuss the disappearance of the girl. And so I really love that. So that makes you know that it's within the same universe, but it does also separate it as well. And I like how it's different because it doesn't have the smut, and so but it's the same world, so it kind of just prepares you to expect whatever. And whatever book that you write, like, you don't know what could happen. What is it going to be? A smut? Is it not? Is there going to be twists? Is there not? Is it going to be happy, sad, angry? What's going to happen? And I love that, because sometimes with series, as you build them, they can get kind of boring, you know, you get kind of annoyed with them, but the way you're doing it, I think, is just so fun and fresh, and just really keeps you in there, because you're not getting like, okay, I'm sick of this series, I'm ready to move on to something else.
I definitely like have to emphasize to the public that like this is a sad girl read. Like, it is the emo sad girl read. Because it was funny, I have a friend who's also an author. He writes more like action, adventure, sci-fi, and so I normally will have him read my books beforehand, and he gives me notes and whatnot. He's loved my Heathens Creek series. I had him read this book, and he was like, he tried to be polite, but I don't think he really got the concept of like, you know, the depressive sad girl read. Like, I think like a lot of, you know, more emotional, moody, men and women will like this.
I loved it.
Yeah.
And I know I'm moody.
Like, you more, like macho men or like typical male readers. I don't think that they're gonna like this because it's too emotional.
Yeah.
So when you read it and you said, no, it's good, I'm like, okay, well, somebody understands.
Yes. No. And it's funny too that you said you wrote it during your seasonal depression, because I was reading it when I was like really depressed. I was like going through it. I had just come off. I was really, really sick. I was having like all these. I loved it because it matched my mood, and I could just like cry right along with it as I'm reading the book and just be like, oh my gosh, Willow girl, me too. I am so sad. Like, and yes. And I always have a thing too for a romance story where it is kind of like, are they going to end up together? Are they not? Because Easton being the gargoyle that only comes alive on the full moon, it's just so crazy, and you feel that because she's having such, they're having a great time, they're chatting, they're talking, they're discussing, and then at the end of the night he turns back to stone and she's left for a whole month just like that. So, and you really feel that emotional change.
Well, it'll be out to the whole world tomorrow.
Yes. I'm so excited. No spoilers, everyone. If you don't want a spoiler for book 2, don't listen. Girl, why did you kill Everest? Why did you do it?
So,
I mean, I'm not mad at it because by the end of the book I hated him, but
well, that was the point. So that was a plot twist that I created about like halfway through, because I kind of realized, like, while writing out that story, I'm like, man, like, this guy sucks. Like,
yeah,
there wasn't going to be any positive outcome for him. So I just thought, what, screw it. I'm going to just like kill him off. And I've seen other writers do that. So I was like, I'm going to add an element of surprise and do this. I just felt like it would add more to the story, because now it's like, okay, what's the rest of the band going to do? So that adds more to the storyline. So
what's the council going to do? Are they going to come back and do something now?
After I write Lucy's story, I'm going to write another story involving Mia and Billy, and it's going to play out with the whole court case and what happens between them. So there was so much more I could do if I killed him off.
Oh, for sure.
And I was like, he's got to go.
Yeah.
And it also like helps release her, because in the second book, she's trying to discover like herself as a vampire, but at the same time she still has this tie to her old self. And so I thought, well, if I kill him off, then it also will kill off this ghost that has always haunted her, and then she's free to be her own vampire. So yeah, there was just more I could do if I got rid of him. So I was like, you know what, I'm sick of him already. Like, now on to other characters.
Yes, and we love Billy.
And I
spoiler.
I love the fact that he was a main character that you killed off, because I feel like a lot of authors are too scared to kill off main characters, kind of.
Yeah.
And I also think that keeps it exciting, because in other books you'll like something crazy will be happening and it's like the main characters and you're like, oh my god, are they going to be okay? But then you're like, well, they're not going to kill a main character. Whereas like now in your books, if something crazy happens, it's like, oh my god, like, are they going to die? Like, are they going to be okay? But you just won't know until you actually finish it. And I love that. It'll just keep you thinking.
Very George R.R. Martin of you.
Yeah. And I love it.
I like keeping the element of surprise and having this ridiculousness in my writing. So I like reading G.M. Barrie stories, because at the end of the day, like, they're a little bit ridiculous. They're like way out there, and I love that. Yeah. And so I wanted to kind of take that, craziness, but like put it into, my own like gothic element.
So I want to thank you, Anna, so much for meeting with us and doing this interview and taking time out. I really appreciate it. I've appreciated you and your story so much, and I'm so excited to see what more is in store in Heathens Creek. I mean, I might have to go buy a house down there.
Me too. Like,
for real. They sound like there's some more hot guys down there to me.
Well, maybe they got extra room in the mansion now that Everest isn't there.
Yeah, true. I could take Everest.
Let's just go move in.
Yeah, there we go.
Open house.
There we go. Yeah, just have to drink some of Billy's blood. We'll be fine.
We'll be okay.
Well, thank you so much for watching our very first episode. We hope you enjoyed it. We know it might be not the typical podcast, but it can only go up from here. And we are so glad that you could join us.
So until next time, we're going to go find some more books so we can get some more stuff to babble about. And stay tuned for our next episode of A Court of Books and Babble.
Bye.